All right, everyone. Welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for Tuesday, December 12th, 2017. And this video is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below. We're using the actual size of the constellations, which does change the signs from mainstream astrology. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So today we have the moon in Virgo, which was the case yesterday. Virgo is all about self-improvement, striving towards the details of things, figuring things out, essentially finding solutions to embetter our life and maybe to embetter the lives of others as well, so just through our work and our service. So this is the sort of theme of the day: self-improvement, improvement in general, and we could just be feeling like we want this kind of detail in our life, focus on details, and so doing that can be a great way of working with the emotional body. Now, in terms of the aspects, we do have Mercury retrograde going over the sun. So halfway of this Mercury retrograde, now time to do the status check. What have we learned the past week and a half regarding what we've been rethinking, reconsidering, relearning in our life? Do check your weekly to see which house this is. But most recently, since last weekend, this has been about Ophiuchus. So this is the constellation about healing. And so now this week, reconsidering where we can do some healing in our life. And this might be spiritually, it might be emotionally, mentally, physically. Any type of healing is great with this. So this illumination, there could be this awareness, actually, an insight with this conjunction. So we'll talk about that along with some of the other minor lunar aspects here when we return. All right, so here's the sky for this Tuesday. So we have the moon very well centered in Virgo, the constellation of essentially improvement. So feeling this way, and also themes regarding this today. Really good for finding solutions, organization, focusing on the details of things, and again, our work and service could be great. So let's talk about this Mercury retrograde over the sun, this halfway point of this retrograde. Now this time to do this sort of status check in a way, seeing what we've learned this past week and a half, and maybe starting to apply it in our life, even though, it is, of course, still retrograde. We still want to be flexible and adaptive, but really good during a retrograde to try a bunch of different things, experiment, right? And just so we learn, because it's really through experience that we learn. If we sit back and don't do anything during a retrograde, it kind of defeats the purpose. So applying it, but of course having extra avenues that if information changes, we can go into a new direction, stuff like that. It's being adaptive and not getting ourselves into anything we can't get out of course. So anyways, though, with this, there could be some insight because the sun is, that vital life force. It just illuminates. And so now illuminating Mercury, illuminating it in a very spiritual way. We can't see it, all right? But illuminating our mind, our ideas, matters pertaining to communication, and also our routine. So there could be some spiritual insight about this today. But what I mean to say is that we can't see Mercury in the sky, right? So when it comes to our mental energy, the more like wanting to understand what we've learned in a very conceptual and rational way, or just wanting to use our mental and rational faculty, there can be a lot of passion behind this, which can cloud it or sort of cross the wires with it, so to speak, right? So too much fire, too much energy. So if you're feeling very passionate about communication today, which is sometimes the case with this, very passionate about your ideas, maybe with your routine, good to bring some extra attention to this and to see if you can channel it in constructive ways. It's always the best with this sort of combust energy, as it's called. So writing things down, planning, brainstorming, scheduling, budgeting, journaling, anything that gets the information down in a tangible form can help with this, can help that Mercury come back in, just being engulfed by the sun here. Now, another way you may experience it might be a hectic day for some of you, just really busy, a lot of paperwork, a lot of information, a lot of busyness in the routine. So again, same sort of thing. Anything you can do to ground it, make it constructive, also good. But all in all, fundamentally what this is about is this now halfway point of Mercury retrograde, this new insight coming and this awareness. There could be some new ideas, could be some new perspectives, and so just kind of rolling with those throughout the day. All right, so that's the conjunction. It will be more so the later part of the day going into tomorrow, especially those of you in Europe and the East will feel it tomorrow as well. But yeah, that's the most important thing we've got. One thing I want to say about this Ophiuchus, you know, this conjunction is happening right in the middle of the constellation. And since last weekend, there has been this importance of revisiting some things of where we can heal in life. So again, it's any type of healing. If any wounds come up, being aware of them, learning about them, studying them. This is all Mercury. And maybe it's physical healing. Maybe there's still some physical healing we can do as well. With Virgo, the diet and regimes can really facilitate this process. All right, so that kind of thing. Just kind of revisiting this healing, because we are going to have a new moon the very end of this week, very early Monday of next week, having to do with this whole new transformation coming out of this deep period that we've been. And after the healing, right, so after we get into next week, this metamorphosis out of it and into a much more expansive part of life, which is Sagittarius. But in order to transform, of course, we have to do the work. We have to go within, we have to do the healing, and this is what this week really symbolizes. So some of these other lunar aspects we've got, the most important being here, Moon squaring up to Pluto. Not that important in terms of a cyclical energy. This happens twice a month. But if you do have any deep feelings come up today, really good to be aware of them. And I think with Pluto, you know, it's really about fears and attachment. So if there are some fears that come up today, face them, right? Facing those fears is great with this square. And if you do feel attachment or control over anything or anyone or something like that, good to practice non-attachment when the moon is squaring Pluto. Again, nothing major, but could be something regarding that as a theme in the day, or something involving our emotions with that. To support the moon, actually, the moon will be opposite up to Uranus and sextiling Mercury. And the reason this is supportive is this is actually a trine between Mercury and Uranus that went exact on Sunday. And so this is about spontaneity. It's about mixing some things up. So I think it's a great day for this, especially in the later part or tomorrow, of trying new things, wanting some change. And I think just as long as it's balanced, just because the moon will be opposite Uranus, just watching any extremes, but good for that variability there. All right, and then I do want to mention that as we get into the later part of the week, we are entering into the ending phase of this current lunar cycle. So really good as we approach the weekend to start to go within, start to listen as we gear up for that new beginning. Very powerful new beginning around the corner. If you haven't yet seen the weekly, do check that out where I talk about this new moon. All right, so have a great day, everyone. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the daily forecast.